Hello aspirants, welcome to another session of the daily newspaper analysis. As I have been telling you from few days that this Sunday special will be about the weekly roundup of all the important editorials that have come in this week. So today's editorials as well I am skipping. I'll be doing these editorials tomorrow. So please join us tomorrow for the YouTube live session. So moving ahead, these are the various topics that we are going to look at. Very interesting topics have come in today's newspaper. Firstly is your avoid unilateral action to alter Taiwan status quo, says India. See, the spokesperson, the external affairs spokesperson has come out and given the statement and has said that any unilateral action when it comes to Taiwan should be avoided here. It is very important statement because one of the things that was mentioned in the statement is the one China policy. See, in the previous video when we have done about Taiwan issue, I have told you that when it comes to one China policy, India has been quiet since 2010. Okay, since 2010, nowhere in its official documents or press releases that were made by the ministries from India, they have never mentioned about one China policy. So this is after a gap of 12 years that in any official statement, one China policy has been mentioned. So this reaffirms the stand of India. This says that India acknowledges that there is only one China, that is PRC, that is People's Republic of China, and both Taiwan and Hong Kong are part of PRC here. Okay, so this is a very important statement. Other than this, there are a few other important points that I have mentioned in this article. They talk about the issues with China. Currently, what all issues are there between India and China. So, firstly, is the technical hold on the listing of Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist Asghar. See, this happened recently. This is only 2 day back news when India wanted to list some of the terrorists on the global terror lists. But since China is the permanent member of UNSC, that is your United Nations Security Council, China has something called as veto power. By using veto power, it cancelled this petition and it stopped. Okay, and it stopped the listing of Asghar as the global terrorist here. Second issue is your Yuan Wang. See, Yuan Wang 5 is the warship. Okay, this is the warship, the name of the warship, very important. So this warship is was going to visit Hambantota port of Sri Lanka, but when India started opposing this move, Sri Lanka has asked China to put this on hold. So for now, this is not visiting, but we have another warship from Pakistan that is visiting Sri Lanka, and they are conducting a military exercise on August 15th. So these are some of the issues. Lastly is your LAC tensions. See, LAC 15th round of commander level talks have been happening between India and China, but still there has been no resolution. The tensions are still prevailing in the area of your line of control. So the spokesperson has clearly said that since we don't have normal ties with China, the ties can only be normal if we resolve all the border issues that are there on the LAC. So we will look ahead what will be the Chinese response. But China again has said that there have already been 170 countries that have accepted the one China policy. So India has become one among them that is accepting the one China policy here. This is the major shift when we look at in the geopolitics because we all know, okay, Quad is on one side, NATO is on one side, and we have China and Russia who are in a sense fighting together in Ukraine because China is indirectly funding Russia in this war. So it has to be seen how India's stand is being taken by the global leaders. Moving ahead, this is another article that came in the front page of today's newspaper that says that Johnson & Johnson are set to wind up worldwide sale of talc-based baby powder. See, what is the issue? There have been few reports that says that talcum powder here, as you can see in this, talcum powder is causing is a cause of concern because it is causing something called as mesothelioma, that is a cancer that strikes the lung and other organs. That is why there was a case filed, but repeated trials from the J&J as well as the government reports have showed that talcum powder is not causing any cancer here. But still, since the demand for the talcum powder has been coming down in few of the areas of the world, Johnson & Johnson decided in 2020 that it will ban or it will completely stop the production of talcum powder in North America. Now it has came out in this year and has announced that it is going to be completely stopping the production of talc-based baby powder. This will be replaced by cornstarch. Okay, cornstarch, they have found that cornstarch is not harmful anymore or does not cause any type of ailments. That is why this talcum powder is being replaced by cornstarch now. Okay, please keep in mind. Next, this has come in your this has come into today's newspaper. It talks about center to file review petition on eco-sensitive zones in Supreme Court. So what is eco-sensitive zone? Firstly, you have to understand that, see, eco-sensitive zone are a zone around a protected area minimum of 1 kilometer. That is, if this is a protected area. Which all are your protected areas? Your national park, tiger reserves, biosphere reserves, these are all protected areas. Okay, so protected areas, outside the protected area 1 kilometer, okay, minimum of 1 kilometer, maximum of 10 kilometers should be protected as a eco-sensitive zone. Okay, so this eco-sensitive zone is declared under your Environmental Protection Act of 1986, and it is notified by the central government. It is notified by the MOEFCC, that is your Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. That is your ecological sensitive zone. So what is the issue now? So the issue is relating to these two sections, that is section 44A and section 44E of eco-sensitive zone. So what is the issue is that, see, previously this issue has been highlighted in the Hindu newspaper from a few months now. The Kerala government has been opposing this ECZ new norms, because what is happening is, when you are declaring around the protected area up to 1 kilometer of this area as a ecological sensitive zone, this zone is such a zone where you cannot have any activities. Okay, there is a list of prohibited activities which cannot be done in this area, that is of your ESZ. One of that protected activity, prohibited activity is human habitation. Okay, human habitation. That is, in ECZ, there is prohibition of any human staying there, any human habitation that happens there. So the Kerala government has been opposing this from few months now. It is asking the center to change the law, because what is happening is, Kerala, most of the people are living in this ecological sensitive zone, and also you have to consider that the total area that is of Kerala is very small, and in that small area most of it is covered by the Western Ghats. Okay, so to demarcate most of this area again as your ecological sensitive zone, it is making the area for human habitation even more less. Okay, so that has been opposed by the Kerala High Court, Kerala government here. So we will look ahead when the center will file this petition, review petition in the Supreme Court, and what the Supreme Court has to say about this. Okay, then these are your this is the definition. You can pause the video and write this down. Eco-sensitive areas are ecologically and economically important. Please remember, the minimum area to be demarcated is 1 kilometer. Minimum area is 1 kilometer, and these are some of the ecological sensitive areas. Okay, these are some of the ecological sensitive areas around in the country. Then is your Essential Commodities Act. Okay, this is a very important news. The news says here that Essential Commodity Act is being invoked to rein in tur dal prices. Okay, so what is happening is, there has been a scarcity of tur dal in our country. Why? Because of two reasons here. Firstly is the slow sowing in Kharif. Okay, so during the present monsoon season, what is happening is, there has been excessive rain in some of the areas, and there has been ground logging. Okay, the water has not been has been continually logging on top of the surface of the land surface. What is happening here is that, because of that, the sowing of your tur dal as well as pulses has slowed down. That is why there is a fear that there will be artificial scarcity in the market. The second reason is the war situation. See, Russia and Ukraine are the main suppliers of wheat and pulses in the world. So since the war situation, the supply from these two countries has come down very much, and since we are also not having enough production in our country due to the excessive rainfall in the monsoon, these two have caused a scarcity. So the government has used the route of Essential Commodities Act to stop the artificial price rise. Okay, so first we look at what Essential Commodities Act is. See, Essential Commodities Act, this was brought in to prevent hoarding and black marketing. Okay, this was brought in 1955. 1955 was the year in Indian history when we had scarcity of food, because the food production was at very much low. Okay, so it was at that time it was brought in. It prevents hoarding and black marketing. Hoarding, we mean what? Hoarding, we mean here that traders, okay, the traders, what they do is, if they have this 500 kilo of rice, okay, if they have this 500 kilo of rice, what they do is, they create artificial scarcity in the market. The traders don't supply enough grains to the market. Okay, they hide it somewhere. What will happen is, due to less supply, due to decreased supply and increased demand, there will be price rise. There will be price rise, and once there is a price rise, these traders will release this 500 kg of price in the market. Okay, so to prevent this, the Essential Commodity Act is being passed. And also your black marketing. Black marketing is selling it not to the intended beneficiaries or intended market, but it is selling in a black market with by avoiding taxes and all. So these are the two reasons why the Essential Commodities Act was brought in. So now that it has been imposed on tur dal, this will help for the government here to analyze how much of tur dal is available, how much of pulses is available in the country, and to manage it accordingly to not have any food scarcity in the market. Okay, so this act gives power to the central government to add or remove commodities. Okay, so the power, who has the power here? The central government has the power to add or remove any commodities in the Essential Commodities Act. There is no time period for this. Okay, the government can keep any items under Essential Commodities Act for any how much ever time it wants to. Okay, and also this Essential Commodities Act, it is being implemented by Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Okay, please remember this. Then the government has come out with a new scheme. Okay, this scheme is for your sewage. Okay, sewage workers. Please remember that whenever you are reading a scheme, okay, whenever you are doing any government schemes, there are three things that you have to remember. Firstly, who is the beneficiary? Okay, who is the beneficiary? Which ministry? Okay, which ministry is implementing the program? And objective. Okay, so you have to concentrate on only these three things. Rest of the things please eliminate. How much is the fund? Okay, these all things never matter for your UPSC exams. What you have to concentrate is on the beneficiaries. The scheme has been announced for whom, which ministry is running the scheme, as well as what is the objective of the scheme. So here when we look at the scheme is your Namaste program. Okay, so what the government here is doing is that the government is calculating. Okay, it is calculating and counting how many people are involved in sewage cleaning and all, because between the year of 2017 and 2020 there have been a lot of deaths due to sewage cleaning. Okay, so here this program, this enumeration is being done under your Namaste program. So what is Namaste program? Namaste program is a program that is being implemented by Department of Water and Sanitation, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Okay, who are the beneficiaries? Beneficiaries are your sewage workers. Okay, sewage workers. What is the objective here? The objective here is that during sewage cleaning there has to be zero fatalities. Okay, but how the government is doing that? The government is doing that by importing or taking it from the GEM portal some of the machineries which will prevent such fatalities, that is death during sewage cleaning. What is the other aim? It is saying that no sanitation worker come in direct contact with fecal matter. Okay, that is the second one. Third, all sewage and septic tank sanitation workers should have access to alternative livelihood. Okay, so these are the three things that are covered under Namaste scheme. Please remember who has announced the scheme as well as the beneficiaries here. Fine. So moving ahead, this is another scheme. This scheme is directly launched by the Social Justice and Empowerment Minister. Okay, so here the scheme, what is the scheme's name? The scheme name is Smile 75. Okay, what is the objective of the scheme? The objective of the scheme here is rehabilitation of beggars in 75 municipal areas. Okay, so this is not a pan-India scheme. This is only for the 75 selected municipal areas. What it is doing is, it is rehabilitating. Okay, it is rehabilitating the beggars here. What are the other things that this scheme is doing here? The scheme is extensively supporting rehabilitation. Okay, it has the provision of medical facilities, counseling, awareness, education, skill development, economic linkages, and convergence with other government programs. Okay, so these are some of the provisions that are mentioned in Smile 75 initiative. This is part of the Smile initiative. Okay, the Smile initiative was launched in last year. The Smile initiative, the full form is that support for marginalized individual for livelihood and entrepreneurship. Okay, so they are targeting what? They are targeting the marginalized section of the society and providing them with livelihood. Okay, so this scheme, the total funding of the scheme is 100 crore, and the scheme will run up to 2025 to 2026. Okay, please remember Project Smile. It is the rehabilitation program for beggars. It is done in the 75 municipal areas. It is part of the Smile program. Okay, so what is the aim of the Smile program? The aim of the Smile program is to providing for livelihood opportunities for the marginalized section. Okay, so that's it. This is your program. So that's it from today's video. We will meet you again tomorrow with the YouTube live session. Do keep answering the questions that we are putting in the last. Thank you.